Hello and welcome back to the Craft of Living. Thank you for stopping by again. If you're new here, welcome. We do all kinds of fun taroting, but not just to do with tarot. Really, it is as my channel suggests, and it is how we choose to craft our lives. So right now we're focusing on tarot and the divination tools, and I thought I would give a trial run of some of these decks I'm unboxing. So today we will be trial running the 8-Bit Fantasy Tarot deck and the Little Bug Oracle deck by Joanna Nelson. And we're gonna see how they go. So I'm sure you're familiar with Pick a Pile. So I will leave timestamps down below for each of the piles. So go ahead and pause the video now after I talk about the stones here, because we have petersite on the first pile. We have what we call here an opihi. We have an opihi hat here. And then we have a Lumerian crystal on this last one. We have the Lumerian crystal with all the striations in it. So we have petersite, opihi, Lumerian crystal. So go ahead and pause it here while you meditate, because the question we were going to ask today is in the heart of the 8-Bit Fantasy Tarot deck, in the gaming type of genre. So we will be asking, what do I need to do or focus on to level up my life to the next stage? What do I need to do or focus on in order to level up my life to the next stage? So as you're thinking about that question, figure out which one of these are pulling to your intuition the most, which one feels the most exciting or the most fun or the most curious, or that's odd, or that snagged my attention, or that's the one you're gonna choose. And I know you know how to do this, so I will see you back on the other piles. So we'll do welcome pile number 1. Welcome pile number 1, petersite. You've chosen the petersite. This is for you. This is a very, very, very powerful stone. Deals a lot with intuition and opening the third eye. So no mistake you chose that. So let's take a look at what your cards are for today. So we have here the Sun coming out in reverse. We have the 4 of Cups. We have the 5 of Pentacles. And then we have the Emperor. So the question is, what can I do or focus on in order to level up to the next stage in life? So, you know, what I'm seeing here, pile number 1, is that, you know, you're not quite yourself. You normally tend to have a positive disposition on things, but lately things have been just kind of all at once, everything all the time. And it may even feel like you're kind of like running your wheels, and you're trying to get a positive spin on things. Maybe you're at a point where you're still trying to get a positive spin on things, and you're still trying to find joy and happiness in your life, but it just seems so not happening right now. The energy is just really not there for you. And so with the Sun reversed, for me, that indicates that you have a difficulty seeing the bright side of things like you used to. And maybe that childlike trust of the universe, that things are going to be okay and work out, is kind of on the rocks right now. You still have it within you, but being that it's in reverse, you feel distant from that positive perspective, that optimistic perspective. You feel distanced from that normal part of yourself. Now, this can be external circumstances. This can be patterns of habitual thought. This can be many different things in a combination of all of it. But either way, you're not really feeling like yourself. The thing I like about this card is that you possess all of the attributes of the Sun, but right now you're just a little off kilter. And that's okay, because we can actually write this Sun for you. Being that it's a major arcana in your reading tells me that this is a life lesson, meaning that it's not going to go away overnight, that you might need to really work on this and be present of, you know, kind of how you're choosing to view the situation. So kind of getting your groove and your swing back. So What can you do and focus on in order to level up to the next stage in life? Be aware that, you're not feeling your true self, okay? And that things, are a little bit more, they have a different tilt on them. They have a shade that you're not really liking. So let's just leave that there for now and move on to the Four of Cups, because this is telling me, because of this kind of like, I don't see things really working out, you're not really sure about the opportunities that are being presented to you. Because the Four of Cups traditionally is, you are being offered opportunities, maybe, and cups have to deal with emotions and relationships and communications, and relationships with people, but you're being offered these chances and you're not really sure, because you're not really feeling like your right self. So these things are popping up, these opportunities. Maybe these aren't even opportunities or friendships or relationships. Maybe these are your emotions, and you're just not knowing where to engage and how to really engage in life. So it can be all of those things. But either way, you're feeling a disconnect. And this is important because now this is that time to invite you to go into a meditation. Because what you're being offered right now is, there are opportunities, but you need to find out within yourself if it is in alignment with where you are going and what you are wanting. Especially when you're not feeling quite like yourself. You kind of have to recalibrate yourself and find your center again. Because with this position, there is a lack mentality. And in the lack mentality, you may not be sure that you have enough. There's a lack feeling within you. And being that it's Pentacles, typically has to do with money, finances, physical health. It can be physical health. Maybe you're not feeling your tip-top shape. Maybe you don't have as many financial abundance opportunities as you would like. But it's all perception, right? Just because we don't have as much as we think we are supposed to have doesn't mean there's not great opportunity right where you're at. Because the whole point of this card is feeling like you're going it alone, and that you're in a lack, you're in a state of lack, you're in a mental state of lack. But there's actually so much help for you inside the church. You don't actually have to walk in the snow all by yourself in crutches and rags. You don't have to suffer that hard. There's help. And now this can mean physical help for you. This can mean spiritual help for you from your guides. However you choose to, take this card, there is help. There is other ways of looking at it. But mostly this card is talking about coming from a perspective of lack. So, when you're not feeling yourself and you have this, the world is kind of upside down look, like it's not the way you're used to seeing it, then of course, naturally, you're going to be drawn to fall into these pitfalls of feeling like you're alone. You have to do this alone. Nobody is there to help you. But look, what I see is you overcoming all of that, because we have the Emperor here, which encourages you to be your own change maker, to be your own ruler. Sometimes he can even challenge you he can even bring about this feeling of challenge within you that wants to challenge authority and challenge things that say it has to be this way, and that this is the way that the rules must go. This guy challenges that. He says, why? Why? Because this is what feels right to me, and this is what produces the most abundance in my life. So because somebody else told me that this was the way to do it, doesn't mean that that's the way he does it. And doesn't mean that's the way that you should do it. We all need to do things in a way that is in alignment with ourselves, and not just because somebody else told us this is how to do it. That's one of the biggest things about the Emperor is, to me, he represents breaking the chains of beliefs and being your own ruler, being your own emperor of your own world. You can't see it in this pixelated picture, but he holds an orb in his hand that represents the world that he rules. So this is encouraging you to step into that leadership role. If you have been doubting yourself, this is you coming into your power. So you want to be in this place. You want to come from a place of power. You want to come from this positive place of ruling your own life and not necessarily feeling this way, because you know the emperor may go through times like this, but he does not stay there, because he knows in order to make lasting change in his life, in order to be a difference to himself first and everybody else second, he needs to change his perspective. So what is it that you need to do to level up to the next stage in life? Understand that you're going through a little phase of putting things on a less than positive tilt. Maybe you're taking too much stock in what is. Now, well, it's true. It's this way, isn't it? The world is this way, isn't it? Yes, it's true. Just because something is true doesn't mean it has to be true for you. So this is about you taking the reins of your own life and finding that power within it, that emperor power. So I see you going on a journey. So what do you need to do to level up to this new boss level here? Understand you're going through, the glass is half empty right now. You're a glass half full person. Just know that you're going to get back to that. Know that you are going to, once you let go of all those negative beliefs, those whatever it is that's holding you down into this state of not your natural buoyant stuff, once you let go of those anchors of negativity, you're going to buoy up to the surface without even trying, because that's who you are. That's who you are. But right now, your instincts are correct. Kind of go within right now. Maybe not make any choices, because when you make choices from the glass is half empty, it's usually not as wonderful and beautiful and magical as when you make choices from that empowered place. So kind of know that, understand, okay, I'm in a phase of glass half empty. That's all right. I'm going to let that go, because I know I'm going to come back to myself. But as I'm doing that, I'm going to just take some time to meditate, maybe disengage from social media, maybe disengage from all relationships, so I can clearly define what is me and what is everybody else, and then stay present in that beingness that is me. And that's going to help me recognize that I am not alone, and that I am not in this alone, and that I don't have to suffer this alone. And that, even if you are physically alone, there's energetic help, there's angels, there's guides, there's all kinds of things you can choose to believe in that can really help, because it's all about perception, right? And you're going to overcome this feeling of lack to this full empowerment, self-empowerment. Challenge all of those things that say, it is this way, so I must be this way. It is bad, so I must, react in kind. Challenge that. Why? Why do you need to do that? Why do you need to think that way? Why do you need to bring yourself down there? Get centered, let go of that place of lack, and then you will truly rise into your emperor self. Now, just to add some sweetness to that, we're going to do some extra medicine affirmations here. What can you do to level up to the next experiential stage in life? Experience laughter. Have fun. Have fun with life. Look at the silly, goofy flower face. How goofy is that? When was the last time you really just laughed at something totally stupid? Come on. That's something that only a 5-year-old would laugh at. Laugh at it. Be a 5-year-old, get back into that, because that is where your childlike essence is, and that is where your trust of the universe comes in. So their world is full of infectious laughter. A flower makes the funny faces, and 2 little bugs giggle their little socks off. A nearby bush joins in, and shortly followed by a flower leaning in, watching the fun and enjoyment. This is medicine for the soul. So spend time virtually or in person with people that you love, and have some fun and laughter in the right company. And have a moment to, even if you can get to the place of laughing at how complicated we make it all, when life and joy is meant to be simple, is meant to just be a part of who we are. We cannot separate ourselves from that. That is something that is intrinsic within us. So that is your first card for what can you do or focus on to level up to the next experiential stage in life. And your next little love bug card is cave. So don't be afraid to dive into these shadows. This is coming in right below the Five of Pentacles here. Don't be afraid to dive in. I get the sense that you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to open this Pandora's box. What's in that cave? And you know, it's like, it's all just us facing ourselves and facing our alter ego. And when facing our ego, it becomes a game of surrender and a non-attachment. You can't attach to the judgments and perceptions of a lower vibrating ego. You have to kind of surrender and let that go again and again. Like, oh, you think Pandora's box is going to be opened if you go into that cage? All right, that's just a thought. I'm going to let that pass. That's just a fear. We know that fear is an illusion unless you're being chased in the woods by a lion or a bear. Mostly the way humans regard fear is an illusion because it's a projection of the future based on your brain, which has no idea what the future holds. Not one clue. The brain has no clue. So don't be afraid to jump into these shadow aspects of yourself to get to the core of really how to get beyond these feelings, because this is the straightest way to get beyond those feelings of lack, is to say, hey, ego, I see you in there. Why don't you come out and talk, because we have some things to talk about. I need to talk about these things with you because I love you and I understand, ego, that you are trying to help me and keep me safe. But here's where we need to get things straight. My heart runs the show and my brain helps. That's it. My brain likes to think that it knows what it can do and what the next step to do is, but actually your heart and your intuition is the best thing to consult for that. Your brain kind of complicates things and adds anxiety and gets things all messed up. So we love the brain. It's a lovely tool, but we need to use it as such and not let it rule our lives. So jump in on that cave. Get in there. Don't be afraid. Get to know yourself. Get to know your true shadows. Because then and only then can you truly help other people if that is what you desire to do. Pile number 1. Lastly, because I had to add one more card, we have Crystal. And I'm going to read that one. And to me, this one is about wonder. This one is about the wonderment of life. So again, we go back into the childlike nature, and they have so much wonder over everything. They are looking at bugs, little ants on the ground, and oohing and ahhing over that. I mean, I don't know about you, but remember that time period in your life where things held awe and magnificence to you. You know, and now we're all grown and jaded and had our minds talk to us for so many years out of that natural, intuitive, childlike self. So I'm going to read this a little bit. So it says, against a starlit sky, a curious creature of the little bug clan marvels at the beauty of the earth. The jewels created within the ground, springing forth majestically, magnificently, entice him to get closer. The world is full of magic, miracles of nature that define science. Seize the opportunity to wander through a natural place, a park, a forest, or a lawn, anywhere you can embrace the beauty and majesty of Gaia herself. So this card to me is indicating, get back to that stage, you know, take a magnifying glass and go out into nature. Not so you can fry things, okay, that's not what I'm saying. So you can get close and personal with nature. Look at that anthill. Take a look at it. Again, yes, I know you've seen it already, but this is the way to connect with the here and now, because the here and now is where all your power resides. Not in some future that doesn't exist. This is the future that is true and truly exists, is that power within you. So thank you so much for joining me today, pile number 1. Great choice on the Peter site. And check back again. I might have some more pick cards for you later on. Let me know what you think if this resonated in the comments down below. And until we see each other again next time, peace. Okay, pile number 2, welcome to your reading. If you chose the little Opihi hat, we're calling it an Opihi hat instead of anything else. Okay, Garfield, you can hold that. Now, let's see what you got for your reading. The question is, what can I do or focus on to level up to the next stage in life? What can I do or focus on to level up to the next stage in life? What can I do or focus on to level up to the next stage in life? What can I do or focus on? Sorry, I have to keep saying it because it just helps me. It's like it just helps me get into that energy. So right off the bat, I see from you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Nine of Wands in reverse. So what does this tell us? So the Ace of Pentacles, what can you do to level up to the next experiential phase of life? Tells me that you're onto a good idea. This can be, so it's the Pentacles. So it can be you thought of a new job, you thought of a new career, you thought of a new venture you'd like to take, you thought of a new business you'd like to open, you thought of a new, maybe you want to go to school. You thought maybe you're starting a new relationship, or you're thinking of starting a new relationship. Pentacles have to do with the physical world. So anything to do with schooling, yes, money is number one, obviously. Money is number one. Schooling, money, your physical health, your possessions, ideas, jobs, careers, relationships, all of those things. So you're starting something new. What can you do to level up? Continue on this idea. It's a good idea. It's an aligned idea. Now you've only just begun. You've only just thought of it. Remember, the aces are a great idea. Remember, the aces are, I want to grow watermelons in my backyard. I think it's a great idea. I think we could have watermelon for the whole summer. And if we wanted, we could share it with neighbors. Okay, that's great. Spirit's saying that's a green light. Do that. But you haven't bought the seeds, you haven't bought the soil, or you haven't bought the tools or the fertilizer, or, any of the support systems, or the, braces or brackets, anything. You haven't bought nothing. You just have an idea. And I'm not saying that's where you are. You may be further on your path than that. But this is just saying that beginning, you're in the beginning stages of that idea. Keep going with it. If that felt good, you came to this conclusion from an inspired place, keep going with it. This is a yes, because your mind likes to get in the way and says, oh no, you can't do that. What'd you make that decision for? You're gonna just be suffering now, and this is gonna be bad, and that's gonna be bad, and so-and-so's not gonna be happy, and you're gonna end up this way and that way, and if you don't watch out, you're gonna fall on your face. And this is just really psyching yourself out in the wrong direction. And guess what? It doesn't prevent you from these things actually happening. It actually helps these things to happen quicker. The opposite of what you want. I feel like somewhere deep down inside, we believe that if we worry about something enough, if we think about all the possible pitfalls that might happen with this new idea, then we can save ourselves, because then we can know what those pitfalls are. And then we can, at least we know, and then they're not going to happen because we're aware of them and we're ready for them. But that's not what happens, guys. This, lady, is what happens when we start thinking like that. It's too hard. It's too hard to keep that thinking worst case scenario and striving for success. It's almost like getting pulled in two opposite directions all the time. It's hard to function that way. Your brain, whenever you make an inspired decision, and you're in a good high-flying space, and you're like, oh, this is going to be an amazing idea. I'm going to do that. Do it. And this is where force comes in. Now, I'm not a big proponent of force. But where I do believe in force is when you are in a high flying space and you make this decision, you come down to this idea and you're like, yes, I feel it in my soul. This is what I want to do. This resonates with me so much. And then you go about your day and you have dinner and, you know, you go home and maybe you have kids, maybe you don't, maybe you have a spouse, maybe you don't, but you have challenges that arise with other people. You are met with yourself and your own doubts, you know, and the next day when you wake up, you're not in as a high flying state as you were the day before. Maybe something on your body hurts. Maybe something's getting you down. So you wake up in a kind of not good feeling space. And then you think, no, what was I thinking? All these bad things could happen from that. I can't let go of all my responsibilities. I need to do this and I need to do that. And that's when force comes in. Because when you are overly identifying with the negative mind, when your mind is trained in a negative, doubtful way, which so many of us are, so don't feel bad if you are. So many of us have this. It's just a devil's advocate habit. I don't know what it is, but I'm trying to break myself of that too. So you're not alone. And this is just telling you like, no, you can't do that thing. Oh my God, what are you doing? You can't even think about that. And that's your brain freaking out. It's okay. Your brain is not ever going to know what your intuition knows. Your brain can't understand intuition. Intuition does not make sense to your brain at all. So do not wait for your brain to understand what decisions you're making intuitively, because your brain will never understand. And your brain will never quite agree with you. So when your brain is being negative, you need to turn the volume down. Because in this card, the Nine of Swords, she's not in any real danger. She has a beautiful rose comforter that keeps her warm and cozy at night. She's got a nice bed. And this isn't to say that your problems are not real. This isn't to say that your suffering is not real. Those things are very real. And how you interpret them and how you are processing them in your emotions is very real. But the question is, do you want to continue to process your thoughts in this way? Your high flying, your very charged emotions, the ones that are, do you want to continue processing them this way? Do you like the results? Because if the answer is no, then we're going to change that. You're going to focus on changing that, because we have the power to change that. And how do you change that? By focusing on your intuition. By letting your intuition guide you. So pile number 2, this tells me you have strong intuition. You're strengthening your intuition more and more, because you have the Page of Cups here, which is the beginning of really discovering and really practicing your intuition. You may have been on this path for a while, and now you're ready to go out there and kind of see how your intuition really works for you. And there's pleasant surprises here. So the Page of Cups always brings some sort of news, and this might be a delightful surprise for you. So once you're able to kind of recognize this pattern that you have, and most likely being an aware, awakened soul that you already know that you kind of get like this. That's kind of what you do. And don't beat yourself up on it if you can't get away from this as fast as you want to, because that contributes to more of these feelings. Just kind of let your mind think whatever it's going to think about that situation, but focus on how good it makes you feel, how your intuition is guiding you to the right steps, and you are making the right calls. Because lastly here we have Nine of Wands in reverse, which tells me that you're feeling a bit, do I have it in me to make it through the last mile? And Nine of Wands in reverse can mean it's things and expectations that you have on yourself. So it may not be anything that anybody else is putting on you, or the world, or your job, but it's something that you are kind of putting on yourself. So with the Nine of Wands, it's about your passions, and it can feel as though challenges on your path are just relentless, and they're just pummeling, causing you to feel challenged and kind of struggling to keep up and not knowing if you can cope with it anymore. Close to feeling giving up, but you know you're not giving up, but you just entertained the thought at least a couple times. You know, you're so very close to completing this challenge because you're at number 9. Number 9 is close to completion. Don't give up now. Draw upon your inner strength and resources, your support, your resilience, your courage, your positive self-talk to keep you going and doing whatever it takes. Keep kicking. You have got this. So this kind of just saps all of your creative juices down to this, and it's just, maybe you feel overcome by responsibilities, and maybe you need to ask for help. And, maybe you've been just all work and no play, and that's why you've kind of got to this point, because you've lost that touch of that playful spark of intuition, that being open and ready for experiencing life's greatness. You have that in you. You also have this other part I can see that you are working with, but that is leaving, guys. I just want you to know these are all minor arcanas, so these are all leaving. They're not going to stick around for a long. Major arcanas, you might have this lesson for a bit, quite a bit, a year, I would say at the very minimum for major arcanas. But for the minor arcanas, this is, you're going to get through this. You have the power to change any of those negative downward trajectory thought patterns. It doesn't need to happen the way you fear it. Trust your intuition when your intuition tells you something, because it's true. It's actually true for you. It's a spirit confirming, yes, you've got good intuition, you've got great ideas. Don't let yourself sabotage them. So this card tells me you need a break. We don't want you to give up, so we want you to take a step back. Can you find a whole day all to yourself? Is that crazy? Is that crazy talk? Can you find, if you can't find a whole day, can you find a moment, an hour, something that you can separate yourself from all this expectation? So I would recommend that for you if that is something that is resonating with you. And so that is what I have for you there, pile number one. What can you do or focus on to level up to the next stage in life? Continue with that great idea you had, that new beginning, that new thought, that new relationship, that new career, that new opportunity. There's something new that's beginning in your life. You had the idea, you had the spark, the beginning was there. Then you let your mind get in control of it, but your intuition is actually leading you on the right path. But when you let your mind kind of go at it, it leaves you feeling very drained. But this is a test of your true grit, so do not give up now, pile number two. You're almost there at this breakthrough point. You need to just keep going. You're so close. So to add some love and lightness, what do you need to do to focus on leveling up? Baby steps. Just focus on the baby steps right now. One little step at a time. You don't have to worry about all the steps and how are you going to get over and through the mountains and is there another path before I actually reach my goal here? It's okay. You are taking baby steps in a river of emotions here. So, the rocks might be slippery. Yeah, you might fall a couple times in the water. It's okay. You're going to get back up and go to the next easiest step. And go to the next easiest step. Don't make it too hard. Whatever it is. Yeah, I'm gonna do. You have to. It's one of those techniques of trick your brain into having it be not hard. So, say for instance, you wanted to start a new workout routine. Say for instance, you want to be able to do 1 hour of workout 4 times a week. Okay. Well, we're gonna start with 5 minutes. We're gonna start with 5 minutes. You think, oh my God, I'm never going to reach my goal. But trust me, you have to think of 5 minutes to trick your brain. Because if you say an hour, now this is just an example, apply it to your own situation. But if you say an hour, your brain's like, no, oh my God, no, how am I supposed to keep that up? And I have this and I have that to keep on track of. And I have my work and I have, all of these other obligations I have to keep up with. How many? So that's, your brain already is giving you too much resistance and it's zapping all of your power. So we love you, brain. We love you so much. We want to help you. But understanding that the brain is a tool to help the heart. So the heart rules, the brain helps. We've been conditioned that the brain rules and the heart just beats our blood and it kind of goes around in the background. Nope. That's not using our body and our spirituality and our organs correctly and at its best. I don't want to say correctly, but at its most advantageous, what it was really designed for. And the brain's not designed for trying to figure out the future, trying to figure out the past. It's supposed to be here in the present moment, and that's it. Intuition can figure out the future very nicely if your emotions aren't clouding the way. But yes, what I see for this one is just take it little step at a time. So do 5 minutes of workout. Do your 5-minute workout routine, because your brain says, ugh. So first of all, 5 minutes. If 5 minutes even seems too much, then make it 1 minute. You want to make it so small that your brain is like, oh, that's so easy. Let me just do it. And then you can just do it. And then you get it over with. And the next day you do another 1 minute or 5 minutes, whichever one you feel the least about resistance to. And then you do that and you keep doing the 5 minutes. And then you're going to find, once you've gotten in a rhythm of the 5 or 10 minutes, whatever one you've decided on that has the least resistance, you'll see that you're going to be done with the 5 minutes and you'll be like, oh, that's it. I'm already up. I'm already dressed. I might as well go more. And what you end up doing is that's you creating the habit and routine. But you have to get around your mind first. That's okay. The mind doesn't know any better. We've never been taught as a society how to really train our mind to help us and not impede us with our greatest potential, which is creation. Divinity creating. That's the beauty of it. And see, you have this beautiful sun waiting for you. And Spirit's saying, we know there's going to be challenges. There's going to be mountains you're going to climb. But who says climbing mountains is not any fun and it's hard and it's all work? Yeah, it's work, but it's beauty too. It's being in the moment. So you have this available to you. Just baby steps, baby steps. And then energy. So remembering, this card always reminds me of the magician. So you are a creator. This is what I just said. You are here to create, and you have all the tools that you need to create in this life. So remembering who you truly are and the energy that you give and that you offer into this world. You offer energy through your words. You offer energy through your actions, through your emotions, through your intentions, through your will. So be mindful of what you're creating. What are you creating with your energy? Your thoughts are your energy too. What do you create with that? When you have this and this together, what is the result? When you have this and this together, what would that result look like? Because I can feel a difference between the two. This feels in a good positive direction. This feels at odds. They kind of feel like opposites. There's a divide there. So recognizing your contribution of energy to the world and what that is. And lastly, we have wish. So I love this card because it's really allowing yourself to have those wishes, to wish and dream, and I also believe that wish is also like speaking to the spirit world and setting your intentions out into the world of what you are wanting and letting them go and knowing that if they're truly meant for you, they will come back to you. I want to read a little bit on this card. I'm feeling pulled to read that for you. So we have wish. Creatures of the little bug clan gather to witness the flight of the dandelion clocks. They know as each seed floats away in the breeze, it carries a wish, a desire into the world that will soon come true. Take a chance and make a wish. Think of what you most desire and the goal you want and what you need to achieve it. Focus your intent and send your dreams and requests to the world. That's pretty much what I said. So just remember, the universe knows what you want and is lining everything up for you in divine timing. But you need to elevate your frequency and follow inspired action towards your wishes, believing and knowing that they are here for you already. So inspired action. So dreaming and wishing is one thing. And then you have to allow these positive dreams and wishes to manifest in your life, because they aren't going to manifest when you block them with fear and doubt. Fear and doubt is a low vibration. It doesn't allow for high-flying positivity to really come through as effortlessly as we want them to. So just be aware of that. It's okay, it's not anything bad. It's just kind of a common human thing of being human. So pile number 2, what is it that you need to do or focus on in order to level up to the next stage of your life? Continue on with that new plan, that new idea, that new something. That's a green light from the universe. This is a green light from the universe saying, yes, continue. But know that you need to do more than just think about it. You need to get yourself in an inspired place so that when you are in that inspired place, you take inspired action. And you start taking steps towards it, towards what you want. And you're choosing to trust in your intuition. You're choosing to trust in your ability to interpret what your higher self is saying to you, where your higher self is leading you, because you have that connection and nobody else has that connection for you. You have that direct line. And it's guiding you to a way, for sure. And your brain is guiding you a different way. And I'm sure you followed a life of predominantly brain. What would it feel like to follow this other thing? So be brave, pile number 2. You got this. You got this. Maybe learning to trust your intuition more, and maybe letting go of some of those responsibilities that you are pinning on yourself right now. Maybe you'll be viewed as a bad person. Maybe you'll be viewed as letting somebody down if you let go of some of these obligations. And what would be the worst case scenario if somebody viewed you as a bad person? Does it affect the kind of person that you actually really are? No, we know that. But as empaths, if you're an empath watching this pile number 2, you might feel obligated to do that or be that for that person. But it is not our jobs as empaths to lower our vibration to help anybody else. That doesn't help anybody. Learning to keep our vibration high is what helps ourself, number 1, the most, and number 2, everybody else that witnesses you in that high-flying space. So pile number 2, thank you so much for checking in today. This is your reading, and come back and check for more in the future. Peace. Welcome, pile number 3. So here we are asking again the same question. What is it that I need to do or focus on in order to level up to the next stage of my life? If you have chosen the Lemurian crystal, this is your pile. So they also say that these striations in the Lemurian crystal, I don't know if you can see it in the light here. Oh, hi, little bug. We have a live guest here on our little bug show. Get off my hand. Anyway, so you see the striations in here? If I'm catching it in the light right there, they look like little lines. If you've ever seen a record player, they look like record player lines. And what do record player lines actually hold within it? A ton of information, right? That's why I love Lemurian stones, because I believe these etched lines, if we could know how to access it, holds a lot of data and information. So that's what you have chosen, pile number 3. Thank you for stopping in today. And the question we are focusing on is, what do I need to do or focus on in order to level up to the next stage in life? What is it that I need to do or focus on in order to level up to the next stage in life? So let's take a look at what we got. So we have the Hermit starting right off the bat in reverse. We have the 10 of Wands, the 2 of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles popping up in reverse. So what is it that I need to do or focus on in order to advance, level up to the next level in life? Well, the Hermit showing up right in the beginning is telling me one of two things. Either, okay. So it's telling me one thing now. Okay, so you've been getting the call to separate yourself from society, take a moment, take a breather, retreat within yourself, to pull away from stimuli, from all stimuli, so that you can have this hermit experience. But for some reason, you've been resisting it. Nope, don't want to do that. Nope, nope, nope. So the hermit, he's going on a quest. He knows that in order to gain a higher perspective and get in touch with the source that he truly is and shed all other false identities of the ego and the false self of who you think you are and who he thinks he is, in order to really see beyond that, you need to walk to a place. This is not physically, this is all metaphorically. You need to get to a place where you are separated. You allow yourself that space, because being close to society, being close to people doesn't allow you to make your own conclusions. It doesn't allow you to come to your own mindset. It kind of just keeps you in that societal norm. So the hermit is asking you to take some time away so that you can use the lantern of your own intuition to guide your next step, so that you can see the forest through the trees. So he's supposed to be overlooking a big city right now. So how can you change your reactions, what you want in life or anything, if you're constantly enmeshed in society, in humans? How can you really begin to form your own? And this is necessary to do every once in a while, to check in on yourself. Okay, am I doing okay? Am I in alignment with what I want to create in this life? Does this feel good to me? So you've been kind of resisting the call. Now this might be stubbornness on your end, and this might be logistics. Oh, no, I literally can't do that. I just don't have time. Because what I see here is the 10 of Wands. So you've got a lot of external expectations of you. A lot of Wands have to do with passions, your passions in life. But when you get to the 10 of Wands, you've kind of like taken, responsibility of other people's passions. Maybe it's your job's passions, and you're like, oh, they're trusting me to do this and follow through on this, so I have to give it all my passion. And then you have your kids' passion in here, maybe if you have kids. And so you think, oh, I need to do my best for my kids, and I need to help them with their passions. Maybe you have, a partner or a parent or a family member that, relies and depends on you for something. So you're kind of like taking this all on your own, and you're trying to find your way through life with this stack of passions and sticks. And this card tells me that you're so close to the finish line. You're so close, and that maybe it's okay for you to let some of those sticks down. Nobody's telling you that you have to, handle each one of those sticks personally until the very end finish line. Maybe those people need to do some of that for themselves, or maybe there's some boundaries that could be put down here to save you some of that energy for yourself. Because I really see that you're needing some of that time to yourself so you can recuperate your energy and kind of go forward better, in a better feeling way. So with the 2 of Wands here coming right up after the 10 of Wands, tells me that you're in the beginning phases of something. This project, yes, you're well in it, but there's something else that kind of feeds your soul that you're also into as well. And I got the 2 of Wands here. And with the 2 of Wands, it's kind of turning those dreams that you had into an action plan now. It's that spark that you had in the Ace, and now you're trying to figure out, okay, now where am I going to go with this? So this is inviting you to explore your options carefully, accounting for all possibilities and potential challenges along the way. Just be open to growth and maintain certainty that your efforts will work out in the end. This is also a need, kind of like, if you feel like, you may be feeling like you need to find where you're going to jump to before you go and jump. You're like, okay, I know I need to make some changes because I know I've been eating this for a while and I know my life has been feeling like this. So I know I need to make some changes, but I need to see where I'm going to land first before I make those changes. And it's kind of like needing a clear path before you jump. Maybe you're not quite ready to take action. So, but discovery happens outside of your comfort zone, where you are stretched within your limits, needing courage, confidence, and self-knowledge. Just allow your intuition to guide you in your next step. Allow yourself to feel your way through this. You've come so far already and you are ready for a change. This tells me you're ready for a change. You're considering long-term aspirations and what is needed to achieve them. You've come so far and you feel ready for this change. Planning with moderate approach will ensure success. So you are trying to go into the beginning stages of this next passionate journey of your life. And you're just really trying to get into the logistics of it, but don't let your self-doubt ruin this positive projection that you're on, because we don't need to be in this state for a chronic period of time. Acute phases, okay, sometimes we need to go through acute phases of life where we're pulling doubles and where we're doing the extra mile, but I get the feeling this has been your way of life. It's just been what's expected of you. So it's when what you were taught, there's been nothing different. So why wouldn't you go forward like this? Well, because it's time for change and you just can't keep going on like that. You just don't have it in you. Even if you did, you wouldn't want to use your energies and talents in that way because you wouldn't be reaching the potential that you could be reaching. You know, and if that's not really for you, reaching people, then you're not really being your best self, meaning that you're not going to be feeling your greatest self either. So this is acknowledging that you are wanting to make a change, and it also indicates a choice between two paths, and you really have to decide what you want that to look and feel like, and don't let doubt get in your way, because the Page of Pentacles is about thinking and having a new idea, and it can be even starting a new business. It can be starting a new business adventure, a new relationship, something new in the physical form, and you not really feeling ready for it. You just feeling doubtful about yourself. So the Page of Pentacles tells me that you are ready for it, but you're doubting it. You're ready for it. You are ready for this new adventure. You're ready to be a white belt and learn the next step that you need to do. But you have a lot of self-doubt. You're not really sure that you have what it takes. And you know, this card may mean that you need to take an extra course, or you need to do some schooling, you know. Taking on an extra course or something might help in that regard. But it's that also a brainstorming phase, but it can be fear that you're not skilled enough to do what you want to do over here, and that can lead to procrastination. Know that you have what you need now, and the rest will develop as you progress. You don't need to jump in as an expert. In fact, so many people cannot relate with you when you're an expert because you're so there. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that really love experts, they love them, but for an average person, an expert is someone leagues away from them. If you jump in as a human, flawed, not an expert, wow. You know how many people are inspired by that? You know how many people can relate with you now? Oh my God, she just jumped in and she didn't have to have an expert level, and she didn't have to have everything perfect and all her ducks in a line before she decided to try. She just trying. And so there is that kind of perfectionism I feel with you, pile number 3, but don't let that get in your way. You cannot let that block you from success. So the Page of Pentacles, I just love the Page of Pentacles because it's just feeling little unsure of yourself. Maybe even you had past mistakes and past failures, and you feel like, oh no, I tried this already and it didn't work out. Spirit's here to tell you, this time is different. Do you know why? Because you are different. You may have tried that thing and it didn't work out. That was then, because you were a different person then. You had different ideals and notions and thoughts and ways of doing things then. You may feel like the same person inside, but you are so different. Every 7 years, there is not one cell in our body that is the same anymore. Every single cell in our body has replenished to a brand new cell. So it's basically like you're a brand new person every 7 years. So what are you going to do with this brand new person? Get out of that self-doubt. You're not alone. So many people struggle with this. You got this. You got to kick that self-doubt to the curb and start really engaging life as a white belt. If you fall, okay, you fell. Get back up. Let's try again. Doesn't have any reflection of you as a person or your capability to succeed. Does not have any reflection of your capability to succeed. So I'd like to just add some little bugs for this to lighten it. And firstly, we have here, oh, trust. Man, it's so perfect. So this card, I always am reminded, it really reminds me of the Star card in tarot, because, you know, it also tells me that there's some self-nurturing that is needed from yourself right now. And if it means you have to grab a teddy, that's okay. Don't make judgments on yourself. I have a ton of teddies that I grab when I need emotional love and help. So if you have to grab some sort of stuffed animal, but this is a time to really self-nurture yourself and be gentle with yourself and be kind. And don't beat up on yourself for, you know, being where you're at right now. Because you're not alone. You have guides that are helping you along the way. And guess what? The universe is helping you too. The universe is guiding you too. You just need to have faith that the universe has got your back. You may not feel like it right now. But those negative emotions, those negative feelings in your head, they don't reflect you on how and what truly magnificent divine being you are, and you're always being guided. You just have to turn around and tap into that and learn to trust in the decisions that you make. Trust in the path of life and where you're being guided. Trust that everything is just wonderful. Everything is exactly as it should be, even if it feels like it shouldn't. Because everything is in a state of becoming, always. Always. It's always becoming something different. So this requires great trust. Trust in yourself and trust in the universe. If you find this card to be challenging, ask, where did I lose trust? Did I lose trust in myself? Did I lose trust in my faith? Did I lose trust in my government? And then see where you can heal that within yourself. Can you build a trusting relationship between you and yourself, you and your higher self? Is that possible? Because that's going to connect you back to the divine source of who you truly are. So we have that there for you. And then we have wheelbarrow. So cute. Oh, man. Wheelbarrow. So I want to read this one to you. I believe this one is about interacting in the world. But I just want to read it to you. Enjoying the gifts and beauty of nature, the scents of the flowers, the feel of the ground. This little bug has no greater joy than when tending to their garden, surrounding themselves with plants. Get back to nature and see how much better you feel, and whether it's taking a barefoot walk in your garden or meandering to a nearby park. In a world that embraces destruction, seize a chance to work with the earth, to prune and plant, to tend and care, and unlock the secrets of the world of Gaia. Give yourself time to smell the roses and even bring some flowers into your home. So I love this. This is a simple message saying, yes, interact with life. Get your hands dirty. And because then you can become present in the moment, and your mind is not chattering, and you kind of get to fill your cup. Now, I don't know if gardening is your thing, but take this and run with it how it applies to you. So what is that thing that involves nature where you kind of get lost in the moment? What is that for you? Is it swimming? Is it a pool? Is it planting flowers? Is it just observing nature? Is it being with animals? Animals is nature too. Do you have a pet? Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? That's part of being in nature, is being connected to them. But to really get connected, to immerse yourself, not to just look at your pet and say, oh, you're a cute cat, and pet them twice and then go on with your day. That's okay, but this is really asking you to get your hands dirty. Meaning, immerse yourself. Immerse yourself in the task of being in the moment. So that can even mean a walk in nature. What if you were to take a walk in nature and say to yourself, I'm going to just stay in the present moment during this walk. Anytime my mind wanders, I'm going to bring it back to my breath, back to my body, back to the next step, back to the breeze on my face, back to the smell of the fresh cut grass, back to, and try to really make a thing of it. That's what this card is really suggesting for you. This is really going to help balance out that feeling of overburdenedness and really nurture this feeling you have to want to start something new, to want to go in a new direction. This is normal. Spirit doesn't want you to stay in this. This is not what Spirit says. In order to live a good life, you must go through this. No. That's not what Spirit's saying at all. Spirit wants you to find ease and joy and light and love and laughter in your life. And gardening. And lastly, we have Soar. Okay, so this is one of my favorite cards of this deck, because it's asking you to not let your brain limit the heights that you can reach. If you were to say, oh, I want to make a crane paper airplane and I want to fly on it, great! How can we do that? How can we make that happen? Because a person that is very much identified in their mind would say, oh, that's silly. Why would you want to do that? That's just foolish. That's not even possible. That's impossible. But this world is built on impossible feats. So don't ever let that part of yourself talk you out of anything magical and fun. Do that magical and fun thing and let yourself soar. Because when you get too bogged down in logistics, there's no creativity in that. There's not a lot of creativity in logic. Nothing wrong with logic. It's just a very structured thing, whereas imagination, there is no limit. Not even the sky is the limit. So this is inviting you to get back into your truest self of creator mode and let yourself dream those dreams. What did that dream look like? Expand on it, put details on it, live it, be in it, let it come to life. Feel what it would feel like to feel the breeze on your face. Don't limit yourself. Just get into that feeling, because that feeling of freedom is the biggest emotional mover to different feelings. So when you're high flying, you don't feel doubtful about yourself at all. When you're in the moment, you're in your power. It's when you get all these great ideas that occur to you. And so self-doubt and soaring high, they don't go together. You gotta let go of the self-doubt, because it's not true. You don't have to be perfect in order to get on and start going. So that's what I have for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for joining me today in this fun, wonderful reading. I encourage you to come back and look for more readings in the future. Let me know what you think about this, if this reading resonated with you, and leave it in the comments below. Till then, peace.